Hey, how's it going? It's Craig. I'm out in the garage, and today we're going to be looking at a TurboGrafx PC Engine joystick sent to me by Marcus from Dad and Lads Gaming. Let's take a look. Okay, so Marcus has sent me this. The cable on it is a little bit chewed up in places. It's got a bit of a electrical tape repair on it, which, yeah, makes it a little bit worn out. And he wants me to swap this over. I don't know whether he's got the ball top to this as well. Well, we've got it open. We'll have a look at this discoloration and things on that joystick as well, see if we can give that a bit of a refurb while we open it. But otherwise, this joystick is not in bad condition. It's in fairly decent condition. Little suckers on the bottom. I don't know whether we're going to have to take them out to get the screws out. We'll have a look at that in a sec. But all I can see so far is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws on the bottom. We'll pop this open and have a look. He sent me a multi-tap as well. I think this multi-tap is faulty, but he's giving this to me for my PC Engine. I've got a PC Engine Duo up there, so that's for me to use in the future, which is really cool. Thank you, Marcus. And then also a replacement cable for this. So this is an extension lead, so basically a male to female extension cable on this. So I'm going to make sure I chop the right end off. I don't want to chop the wrong end of this off and really balls it up. But okay, so it looks spot on from a replacement side of things. I think they're both the same type of connector. Just looking at the pin layout, yeah, 3, 3, 2. So yeah, we should be able to swap that over. Make sure we keep that end on there, not this one. So I might even just chop that off while we're here, so I don't do it wrong in a bit. Chop that off, get us a little bit of, right, definitely, yeah. Alright, that's gone. So we're not going to make that mistake later on. But it came with a letter from Marcus. Says, "Hi Craig, enclosed is the multi-tap. Hopefully you can get it working." So that's that multi-tap there. That's for me to keep if I can get that working, which is cool. Also, if you get the chance, I've enclosed my arcade stick and a cable extension. Could you replace the damaged cable for the extension cable? Finally, I have no idea about arcade stuff. Does the arcade stick need a special end ball? Could you advise what I need? Cheers, Marcus, Dad and Lads Gaming. And he's doing a nice cock for me, which is lovely. I always appreciate it when somebody takes the effort to do a little bit of art on a letter. So yeah, the end ball on this, as I said, we've got a couple of spares with my previous video going out with all the arcade sticks, so I'm sure I can find a end ball that's suitable to go on here. When we get this open, I'll see if I can get this joystick out and clean up that rust off of there as well, just because it's a little bit tatty. But yeah, let's take it apart, have a look. That'll be a nice length cable as well then, because I think, oh, it's quite a decent length, but you want it decent so you can sit away from the screen, or you can coil it up and get a little bit closer. But yeah, we'll take this apart. Hopefully when we open the insides of this, we can see where all the cables connect, and fingers crossed they match with the colors coding on this one. Otherwise I'm gonna have to continuity test everything and see where we go from there. But worst case scenario, I can do that. Best case scenario, it all matches up and I'll be happy boy, because we can get on with it nice and quick. Right, let me strip it apart and we'll go from there. Cool, catch you in a sec. Okay, so I just opened it up and noticed something a bit peculiar. There's loads of electrical tape and these have all been joined before, so I think this cable's been swapped previously. I don't think it would come out of factory like that. These are cable connections. The PCB is only by here, so I'm not sure why they haven't gone straight to this PCB and soldered into that. I'm going to have a look at that. I'm going to take out the screws. There's only 2 screws holding that PCB in, then it should fold forward. So if I can do that, take those 2 screws out, have a look at that. Maybe we'll desolder these cables and solder in the new ones. If that looks a bit dodgy, then we'll go with the same approach as this, but I'll use heat shrink rather than electrical tape, because electrical tape gets sticky after a while. So yeah, let's have a look at that. I'll take this apart, have a look what's underneath it. Everything else looks good. Joystick, they're all soldered on, so there's no spade connectors or anything else on here. Not a bad little piece of kit. It does look like it's had some work on it before, but it's probably 30-40 years old, so it's not surprising really, is it? Alright, let me get stuck in and I'll catch you in a sec. Okay, so desoldered that. That was quite straightforward with the solder sucker. I'll put that aside a second, try and find some room. Put that up there. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this old cable. I'm literally going to test this for continuity from the pins within inside of here. Maybe that'll focus on the GoPro. To the ends of the cable, just to see if these colours match these colours. So if I know if the bottom left pin of the two goes to orange, for example, and then I should know that it says the same on that cable. Black, hopefully, to the casing, maybe as a ground. But let me test it. I'll do a little bit of continuity testing. You'll be able to see some of it on camera, but maybe not all of it. But yeah, I'll test this through, make sure it all works, continuity check it with this cable, and then I'll get cracking on the soldering for that one. Cool, catch you in a sec. Okay, so absolute nightmare. Nothing matches, so I'll show you a close-up of this in a second. I'll get a photo of it and put it on screen, but basically I've had to continuity test both of these cables, do a rough pin out. Can you see it on my chest there? Yeah. Rough pin out up here, and then what colour number of pin that corresponds with, and then what colour it was on the old and what colour it was on the new. Worked all that out. Now I've got to resolder it to the PCB. Trying to, in my head, to translate from what colour it should be to what colour the next one should be, whilst putting it back in this PCB and soldering it back in. Wish me luck. Okay, so all back together, looking really nice. Grey joystick ball looks lovely on this joystick. I think it was a nice selection rather than going for the red or something. It would have clashed with the orange and the yellow. Joystick stick, no more rust, which is good. I give that a couple of extra coats and a clear coat off camera just to make sure it was nice and solid, and it's been drying for 2 days now. So yeah, everything's back together. All the screws are in, cables coming out the back. I say all the screws, there was one missing in this hole. When I took it apart, I tried putting a replacement screw in and it wouldn't go in. So I think the thread has gone from when somebody did that cable swap before. But next thing to do is to test it. So I've got my CRT, my PC Engine Duo. This is the one I picked up off of Eddie Rollercore before. It's got a multi-cart in there at the moment, which is selected to boot up from, selected to boot up to Mr. Heli as default, because that's the game I play on it the most. So if you don't know this game, it's a pretty brutal shoot 'em up type setup. It looks really easy, but it's one of the hardest games I think I've ever played. So I'm going to give it a go. Let's see if we can get this joystick up and running, see what you can see. Let's try and get the Okay, let's test it out. We'll do normal mode. Yeah, well, that's working, and that one's working. Yeah, it all seems to be running fine. Let's test out the turbos. That's, if I press and hold it, I can tap really fast, or I can press and hold and it only shoots one. Let's try the turbos. We'll get a second swing on. There we go, nice. And then if I put turbo on second button, yeah, nice. Okay, so that turned out really nice. Nice little arcade stick for the PC Engine. I put the cables back into a nice bundle for Marcus. We know he likes his cable management. Joystick turned out lovely. I think that is really nice. So the grey ball top I think is a nice touch. It's meant to be a red one. I think when I looked at it on Google, the XE1 PC has a red ball top, but I think that's just because arcade sticks at the time had a red ball top. I think the grey looks a lot more subtle on there, and it's a really nice stick. Had a blast through Mr. Heli and Space Harrier. The auto fire on them is absolutely game changing. It makes it a lot easier to get through some of those levels. But yeah, it's a really nice stick. I think I'm going to build myself a PC Engine stick in the future because there's some great games on there that would be nice to play on a stick. So yeah, I've got a Vectrex 3D printed cartridge that's going to go in the box for Marcus as well. And then yeah, we'll get this back in the post to him and see what he thinks of it when it arrives. So yeah, hopefully he'll be happy with that. I've got a load of other projects here that I'm working on. I'm working on a PlayStation 5. I'm not sure whether I'm going to film all that because it's a pain in the ass to do. I'm waiting on a couple of parts for that one. I've got another YouTuber's item here. I've got a couple of other bits that I need to do for people eventually. And I'm surrounded by other things. So I've got my joysticks, I've got all my PCBs to test, my arcade PCBs. I've got so much stuff out here that needs doing. But I think between now and Christmas I'm going to chip away at it, start tidying, start boxing things up, and I'm going to do an extension on the end of the garage ready for next year. And then I'm going to hit YouTube a little bit harder because my filming setup's not very good in here at the moment, so I'm balancing cameras and I've got my microscope just out of view there. And yeah, I want it properly set up, so I've got all the equipment, I've just not got the space in here. I need a little extension on the back and then we'll get everything set up and we'll get into YouTube videos again. But yeah, I've really enjoyed doing this one. It was a little bit fiddly doing those colour changes, but continuity test, get it all sorted, and then yeah, all up and running. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, obviously drop us a comment down below and subscribe. If you're around anyway and you've already been subscribed and you're an old timer, drop me a comment, let me know what you're thinking, let me know what you think of the PC Engine joystick, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cool.